Years ago, back when television was still in its infancy, there were a lot of Western shows. Now, there isn't a single one. No cowboys on the tube. Back then, there were half-hour Westerns and hour-length Westerns, and there were a lot of Western movies, too. Many of the biggest stars were cowboys. Well, they were actors, but we saw them as cowboys. And now, thinking back on it, the most distinguishing feature of all those cowboys was how clean they were. Fantastically clean. Absolute exemplars of personal hygiene. Even their hair was clean and neatly groomed. Roy Rogers and Dale Evans, they were so clean. How did they do that? The Cisco Kid, he was so clean. He was clean, and the clothes he wore, that black outfit with the fancy white embroidery, always the same, but so clean. The guy was immaculate. A lot of times, they slept by campfires, and I don't know how they got so clean. I don't believe I ever saw a bar of soap, certainly no laundry detergent or bleach. Consider the Lone Ranger, known for wearing a black mask, but the rest of his outfit was white and clean. How did he do all the stuff he did and keep so clean, both himself and his clothes? Even his mask was clean. He had a sidekick, and so did the Cisco Kid, Tonto and Pancho. Maybe they handled the wash. They were like valets. Boy, there were a lot of cowboy shows. I promise I won't get into them all. But Bonanza, there was a show. Pa and his 3 sons live on this remote ranch, the Ponderosa, and they're always ranching and taking care of bad guys, and they're all incredibly clean. 4 guys living alone, no women around. I think most men would tend to let it go. In fact, they very likely would have stunk like sauerkraut, and they'd wear their clothes out, same clothes every day, filthy and full of holes, but not these 4. One son was even named Hoss, a big guy, and you'd think a big guy named Hoss wouldn't be that concerned with hygiene, but even he was clean. They had a little Chinese guy, Hop Sing. He was their houseboy. Maybe he did the laundry. Then there was a show called Rawhide. These cowboys are sent out on a cattle drive. The only sanitary facilities they've got are the occasional river they have to ford. And maybe these guys get a little dusty. They slap the dust off their chaps and their hats, but even these guys were clean. You've got like 20 guys and 10,000 head of cattle on a 2-month cattle drive. It's got to be one of the dirtiest jobs in the world. I mean, the dirt should be caked on in layers, and it's not like they packed fresh changes of clothes, but the drovers were basically clean. Clint Eastwood played a scout on that show named Rowdy Yates, and every few episodes he'd ride in to report, and he'd be clean. Gunsmoke, Cheyenne, Maverick, all clean. Hell, on Maverick, they're wearing suits and they're clean. Have Gun Will Travel, Paladin, the only cowboy with a business card. He's wearing solid black, and he never seems to get hot out in that western sun, and he was always clean. There were movies and TV shows about the Alamo, too. Here you've got these desperate cowboys holed up in this mission, surrounded by this gigantic Mexican army. They're doomed, but they're determined to fight to the end, and they're also clean. In all the shows I saw about the Alamo, I never saw a shower or a bathtub, not even a bathroom. But in all the shows, all the men were clean. Come to think of it, Gene Autry, Tom Mix, Hopalong Cassidy, all of them, even their horses were clean, meticulously tended. Some of them would ride white horses with beautiful saddles and bridles, and the horses looked like they were ready for a parade. Now we don't have cowboys. It's all comic book heroes wearing superhero costumes, and they're always clean too. So even though things change, some things stay the same. And one of them is that the good guys somehow manage to stay incredibly clean and well-groomed. In fact, I would say that the biggest indicator that someone is good is that they're clean. It must be true. Cleanliness really is next to godliness.